You might know Jordan Welch as the dropshipping guru with over 1.8 million subscribers on YouTube. But today I'm going to break down his new business, which he scaled to $138,000 a month in less than 6 months. And the best part is that he did it on a channel with only 8,000 subscribers. So I'm going to go through his entire YouTube content funnel so you can see exactly what's working in 2025 without having to dig into his strategy yourself. Now, Jordan's overall strategy is to get attention, nurture that attention, and then convert them into buyers. And to do that, he uses 2 different channels. First, he gets as many eyeballs as he can from his main channel with over 1.8 million subscribers. His ICP here is pretty much any beginner wanting to make money online. His content is like a wider TAM, so that's going to be like entertainment and education based. His goal here is going to be attention and then driving some traffic to his offer, which is around like $1,000. But essentially the big note to take away here is that he has a way larger TAM because it's people who want to like make money. And then his second channel is where he's actually targeting 30K a month business owners, posting only educational content to a smaller TAM. And his main goal here is just to nurture his audience and also convert them right into followers. And his offer that he's spitting around here is around $8,000 per month, and it's a consulting offer. Now, diving into his main channel, he posts 3 types of content. It's going to be vlogs, it's going to be challenge, and it's going to be educational content. And literally from there, you can see the funnel within the funnel. So it's like this main channel has a funnel within it. Like the vlogs are pretty much the entertainment stuff, which is going to reach the widest amount of people. He's going to attract the widest audience. It's also going to serve as a top of funnel mechanism within his main channel. And it's mainly to just like build his brand, build familiarity, and kind of just like, you know, it's still around business stuff. So he's still attracting people who are interested in business. It's not like, you know, kids videos or something like that. But essentially this is going to be the widest TAM. And then he has his challenge videos, which are still like interesting to watch. It's still like entertainment based, but it's like millionaire helps a stranger get rich. I went from broke to rich in 30 days. So he's attracting a wide audience of people who are actually interested in money, but he starts to build more like buyers off of these types of videos for his lower ticket offer, because the people who are watching something that's like, you know, help a stranger get rich, they're going to be interested in making money online. Whereas top half, it's like surprise my mom with her dream house, like anybody can really watch that. But here it's like the TAM is just getting a little bit smaller within that main channel, because people who want to, you know, make money online, people who are just here to like get entertained. And then you have the actual educational stuff, which is like, you know, how to get rich with AI, going through the top skills, beginner's guide to dropshipping, like actually showing you how to start on dropshipping. And the goals here is pretty much more like middle funnel stuff within the main channel. And he's going to use that to nurture and convert people within a single video. So he tracks them with, you know, strong titles and thumbnails, gets them to get as many views as possible. And then he's also nurturing them by giving them value during the video, and then he's using call to actions throughout those videos as well. And this is going to be the smallest TAM because it's really pretty much like a biz op. So it's people who want to start like drop shipping, but they're also just people who are interested in making money in the first place, but don't have like a necessarily like a single side hustle that they're working on. So this is going to be the smallest TAM within that actual funnel. And as you can see, it's literally like the entertainment, the people who want to make money online, and then it's the people who want to, you know, potentially want to drop ship. They're looking like actively for a side hustle. Still a wider TAM, but the smallest of those 3. And that tracked up 1.8 million subscribers on his main channel and 3 million views pretty much in the past 30 days. You know, obviously that fluctuates, so anywhere from like 2 to 4 million. But the thing is, this like serves his main channel and kind of looks into the overall funnel, because YouTube has this thing where it can like actually track the face pixels. So I personally saw this channel when it first came up, like when it had like less than 1,000 subscribers, most likely because I've seen Jordan Welch's other content. And I'm sure a lot of other people have seen the same, where it's like, if YouTube knows that you're watching this guy's content, like they're gonna push him out because they know it's the same person, just because they're getting so good identifying stuff. So it kind of created this smaller ecosystem of, you know, he built so much familiarity and brand around that self, whereas, you know, this started to get pushed out. And still the TAM is obviously smaller, so it's just less people are literally interested in it, but it definitely gave him a large boost. So channel 1 creates that familiarity, and that's just going to increase the chances of channel 2 views, build more trust over the long term. But he actually dives into his second channel pretty hard, because the algorithm is completely changing in 2025, because you don't need a bunch of subscribers to book calls on YouTube. Like my client Striker Digital has 1.6 thousand subscribers on YouTube, and they book 10 calls a month directly from the platform. And if that's something you're possibly interested in, you could book a call using the first link in the description, and I'll see if I can help you out. But the way that Jordan uses his second channel is first to nurture his audience. So essentially for the nurture videos, his goal is to speak to more of an unaware audience. And if you go through the 5 stages of awareness, you have unaware, you have problem aware, you have solution aware, and then you have product aware and most aware. And so for this, he's going to have mainly the people in the unaware and the problem aware, So some people may not have a channel at all, but they want to make money for their business. So like those people are completely unaware. Just like a typical business owner doesn't know YouTube's a thing and never really tried it. So those are going to be unaware people. And he's going to be able to speak to them because he's saying stuff like, you know, this is the fastest way to get rich, or don't start a personal brand, do this instead. They don't know anything about his mechanism like the micro channel, but they know that they want to make money. So it's going to speak to those types of people. And then the problemware stuff is going to be somebody who has like a channel already. Maybe they're just chasing views, but they're not making a lot of money for it. So this pretty much challenges their current belief and creates curiosity because, you know, they're problemware, but they may assume that, you know, more views is their solution. So they don't really know what the solution to their problem is, but it's still going to attract them because it's piquing that curiosity effect where it's like, you know, oh, so I don't need a lot of subscribers to do X, Y, Z, or how is this guy making money on YouTube? So these videos, like they really can convert because he gives a lot of great value away from it, but it's not the main goal. And the packaging here is basic looms and like raw thumbnails, and his titles are pivoted to reach a wide audience, to reach like as much of the TAM as possible. So if you look at this chart, there's pretty much the TAM, SAM, and SOM. So it's pretty much total addressable market, serviceable available market. Then you have the serviceable obtainable market. Your TAM is going to be everybody who could benefit from the YouTube offer. The SAM is going to be business owners who are specifically in his ICP, so, you know, at least do 30K a month and can afford and benefit from YouTube. And then the SOM is going to be who you can realistically sign in the next 6 to 12 months. So for him, with these types of videos, he's really maximizing his TAM and reaching as many people who could benefit from YouTube as possible. That's why he says stuff like, don't start a personal brand, do this instead. It's still pretty wide, but then, you know, in the video itself, he's talking about like micro channels, stuff like that. So it really funnels those people down. And that's probably why it's like one of his higher viewed videos on here. And then this again, like micro niche channels are the fastest way to get rich. So he's speaking to the people who like want to get rich using YouTube or whatever. But essentially he's just maximizing this TAM. So then the SAM and the SOM, the service obtainable market, the amount of people he can sign in the next 6 to 12 months, is growing at a rapid rate. Because the more you have in your TAM, the more you have in the SAM, the more you have in the SOM, which is just easy to understand. Now the actual intros, he's starting off with bold claims like, you know, this is the fastest way to get rich in 2025. He's always including credibility, which I find to be super important. Like using this method, I'm making $100,000 a month. He also sells the dream really well. He always says stuff like, you know, I only work 2 hours a day, or I only worked like 10 hours this week. And then he says, so I'm going to show you exactly how to do X, Y, Z, essentially laying out the roadmap. Then he handles objections on top of that. So stuff like, you know, no matter how much experience you have, or even if you're starting from nothing, or even if you've never hopped on camera, and he does all of that in just 26 seconds. So it's really short, but it's really strategic. So these are almost like, you know, line by line exactly what he says, because he goes through it really quick. Now for the actual body, it's going to be the what, why, how framework for these specifically, like what the mechanism is, so they understand like what they're, you know, getting into, why it works, and then how it works. So for example, you could say the micro niche channel is the fastest way to get rich because in 2025, the algorithm has changed. You could post this type of content, do X, Y, and Z. And the reason this works is because the buying journey has completely changed in 2025, and pretty much just going through examples and then saying, and this is exactly how I do it. And then he goes through how it works. He throws in a mid-roll call to action to convert any of those buyers. That's usually 1/2 of the way through. He just says something like, you know, if you want to skip all the work, then lays out his offer and says, well, it's not for everybody. It's super expensive. And I think this is important to note. And we're going to cover that on the back end below. And then from there, he just continues with whatever part of the like what, why, how framework he was at. And his outro is another CTA. But then his next step of the funnel is where he's actually focusing on strictly converting his audience. And he's going to post videos that are strictly case study based. For him, this is all around like his results specifically. So stuff like 2.017161 from one YouTube channel, just copy me, $36,000 a day making YouTube videos, how I made $17,000 today, blah, 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 blah. Pretty much just going through strictly results-based titles. So people are just seeing that and knowing that like he's legit. So even if they don't click on it, they know that he's actually making bread with this method. Pretty much just show his proof with his own results, educate his audience on the how he's doing it, and then convert everyone inside of this channel. And the reason why he can convert people inside of this channel is because he's speaking to the last 3 stages of awareness. That's going to be solution aware, product aware, and most aware. You know, the product aware and most aware are going to be the easiest to convert, whereas solution aware is kind of in that middle. Essentially, solution aware in this case is going to be they know their current strategy isn't working on YouTube and they know they need to find something new. So you can tell it's a little bit different than the stage before, whereas they kind of just knew they weren't making the money that they wanted to. They didn't know if they needed a new strategy, more views, etc. But in this case, they know they need a new strategy. For the product aware, they know micro channels work. Like they know that this is like a trend or whatever, and they know they need to be the ones to hop on it. And then the most aware is that they know that Jordan's legit. They already are sold on his service pretty much and just need like a few more like nurture points. And he's going to be able to convert all of those people because it's just going to be an easy sale on the most aware. The product aware is going to be pretty easy because he just has to sell them on himself and he has great results already. Solution aware might take a few more touch points, but he still can definitely convert some of those people. The packaging here, once again, is basic looms and raw thumbnails. He keeps this stuff super simple. These titles are all results driven, so they can actually tell that he's legit. And they're going to be outlier frameworks to reach as many people as possible. And if you don't know what the outlier theory is, like it's just essentially a statistical law where it's like, the outlier in the data set is going to be something that's proven to perform more than one time. So this example is like, Charlie Morgan's video got 444,000 views, and that's an outlier for his channel. Then he made pretty much the same exact title and kind of like a similar thumbnail, nothing crazy. This one is a little bit more like all over the place, but he's using these outlier frameworks to just like maximize the amount of people within the TAM that he's reaching because it's a very niche down video. So if he didn't follow outlier frameworks, like this might only be at like 500 views or like 200 views. Because the TAM here, it's a lot smaller. It's not like, how to make money. It's like how to make money on YouTube specifically. You can see in all of them, it's like from one YouTube video, YouTube channel, YouTube video. So it's like the smallest like TAM. It's pretty much just the SAM and the SOM because he's never framing it as like get rich quick, or he's not like really trying to like reach the most amount of people with these. He's speaking to like one audience who already has the problem. They already kind of know that they need something new. And he knows that like YouTube is going to be the mechanism. Intros here, once again, are about the same. It essentially repeats the title. He shows visual proof here. It's a lot more important because it's like, you could tell he brings it up a little bit faster. Like it's one of the first things that he says, and he's showing his Stripe account specifically. YouTube analytics, like you usually open the screen and it's just like his Stripe account. And then his qualification is pretty easy. So his qualification is like, so if you're looking to do X, Y, Z, he kind of like filters out in the intro this time to kind of like eliminate people who aren't even potential buyers to like stop wasting their time. And then he has like objection handling, which is once again, like, you don't need millions of dollars and just like pre-handling objections. So it's an easier sale on the back end. And then he just goes into like the roadmap, like what I'm going to show you. This way they know exactly what they're going to get from the video. The body here is pretty much exactly the same. The mid-roll CTA is a little bit earlier in some of the videos, but overall it's about the same thing. So the biggest takeaway here is just that the frame of the video is a lot different. It's essentially a case study breakdown, and he just has like much higher intent viewers. So he just spams social proof, and this way he's converting as much of his audience as possible. And I think it's just like good to understand that his nurturing video structure and his case study video structure is very similar, but they definitely have different goals. The only thing is just the frame of the video. Now for the actual back end of the funnel, we're gonna look at his landing page here. It's nothing crazy. He just has a 6-minute VSL, but the thing where it gets kind of interesting is when you go to apply through the funnel. I already went through all this, but essentially it's the link in the description. It brings you to a landing page. It brings you to a type form, and the type form's like super specific. You put in like your WhatsApp number, how much money your business is making, your YouTube channel, any other socials, and he's pretty much qualifying you as hard as possible. And right when you think that you're actually going to like be able to book onto his calendar, he just says like, thank you for applying, your response has been received and I'm currently reviewing it. So if you're not qualified, he's not even going to reach out to you, which I call this the ultra qualification funnel. And something that most platforms you can't really do, because with YouTube it's inbound and he's getting enough traffic to the point where he's just handpicking the best clients, getting the best case studies. It's going to make his operational system extremely lean. I think it's something we're going to see creators do more and more. Even people running ads are starting to qualify super heavy on their ad traffic, because once you get enough traffic, like anybody's going to book on your calendar in 2025. So you need to be really strategic about who you're actually letting into the funnel. So that's Jordan Welch's entire YouTube strategy for his new business that generated $130,000 a month in only 6 months. But if you want to see what Iman Ghazi has to say about YouTube in 2025, watch this video and I'll see you over there.